intensive content for everyone here today, and also thank you for taking time off to prioritize yourself as well. Yeah, so it's already 10-ish, so we shall start now, okay? So we try to remain in the seat. So the session will go like that. It will be from 10 to 12 as the first session as we cover on the state of emotion. And then we will go off on a short break, which is 1 hour. That will be 12 to 1. And then we'll come back again from 1 to 3 for the afternoon session for the business, where we talk about lemons, like selling lemons and things like that, right? How we get into the situation and how we get out of when we are in the situation, how we get out of it. Okay? Yeah. So first thing first, have everyone gotten your breakfast? Have you eaten your breakfast?
Yes.
Ayo, like no energy leh. Okay. Okay, those who break fast in the morning, taken, right? But how about the rest of our friends here? Yes?
Yes.
And who has already tried power meal before?
Yes.
Young and fit. Okay, so those who are not young and fit participants, you have not gotten a chance to try power meal, isn't it? Yes? Okay, so today we will start the session here with the power meal so that you get to taste, okay, you get to test the power meal, and also kickstart the body with something in the body. You know, like we don't just kickstart the day with caffeine, but some nutritious, wholesome food, okay? So my colleagues here will help us distribute the power meal. Okay, so this power meal, as you know, is vegan, and also it contains a lot of vitamins and minerals, and also fruits and vegetables. So let's start the day with very nutritious food and not go with high carbs, okay? Yeah, so anyway, this is not the agenda of the class. It's just for you to have something in the body to kickstart the day, okay? So this is actually mixed with water. We didn't add any other thing, but in your own recipe, you can actually mix with your own plant-based milk. Yeah, so it actually contains pea protein extract, so you can actually taste quite a bit of that pea extract, okay? And it's made with room temperature water as well. Yeah, so you may choose to do it with cool chilled water because of the hot crazy weather right now. Okay, so blending it with cold water can be refreshing, okay? Yeah, so as my colleague go around, okay, we will have the session started. Okay, so enjoy the power meal. Okay, give our body some nutritious drink to start the day. And yeah, and so today, right before we start, okay, I just want to do a quick shout out. Okay, just to take note, because we are going unfiltered, I would appreciate that nobody would do any recording unless permitted by Young Living staff. Okay, no photo, no video. Okay, yeah. Nothing much. The slides won't be. Yeah. Okay, photo can, but it will be sensitive because we were like, oh no, this person is she recording video and all that kind of stuff. It will be sensitive. So in order not to disrupt the class or attention, we try not to do photo. If you need any photo, we can do so at the end of the session. Okay, if any particular slides that you want, okay, you can actually ask, and then we let you take photo of it. Okay, so we try to let the class go smooth and. Yeah. Yeah, sure. I'll go into that. Okay, so today's session will be unfiltered, as I mentioned. So we will just take it as conduct as off duty for today. Okay, so we will just share whatever, and you will stay within this room. Okay. Yeah. Oh, actually, conduct or something.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm conduct, right? But as mentioned, I won't have any the normal nagging that conduct does. But there's a reason why we ask you not to take photo and video, yeah? Within these 4 walls, whatever our speakers have to share stays within these 4 walls. So the reason why we ask you not to take photo or video is so that it doesn't go out on social media platforms and raises any issues. Okay? So that's the main reason. But whatever the speakers have to share, please learn from them. Just cooperate with us and refrain from taking photo and video. That's all.
Awesome. So without further ado, I'm going to pass over the stage to Rachel. Thank you, Rachel.
Hello everyone, thank you for welcoming me back. This is my second time speaking here. Who was here last time? Have you? Ah, thank you. It's Young Living. good conversation starter. I think that's what really our products are for. Really living the lifestyle with Young Living products so that it's people who will comment. We don't have to chase people and tell them those things. So we were gonna have a whole day for all of you. So our first session today is all about products, and for those of you who want to stay for the afternoon, we also have a business story. So I hope you can stay for the whole day. We will tell you everything. As far as our slides go, I think, Louise, they're safe. We made them safe. So you can take photos of the slides. We're just asking no videos because maybe the stuff that comes out of my mouth, maybe that's the non-compliant part. So slides, no problem. Okay, so is that correct? Okay, so today I'm going to be talking more about feelings and emotions because I found that throughout my life, I was very, very aware of my own feelings. But when I talk to other people, they are not. So who here, let's just be honest, who here is more in touch with their feelings? They know, oh, I'm feeling like this, I'm feeling like this. Okay, surprisingly, there's just a few hands. I didn't know that. I thought it was so normal that I knew what I was feeling at this certain day, at a certain trigger. But people like my husband, they're just bad. It's like they just flare up. They just suddenly, he just suddenly shouts at me, but he cannot identify what those feelings are. Do you have friends like that? Or are you like that? Like I don't know what's wrong, but it's a bad day, right? You don't have the vocabulary for it. So my job today is to teach you, so you can teach others how to simplify the communication with each other so there's no miscommunication. So let's start. I want to introduce myself first. Hello, my name is Rachel. I am an Enneagram 9. Who's familiar with the Enneagram? We have a couple. For those of you who are not familiar with the Enneagram, it is like a personality test, but it measures more on your motivation rather than your behavior. Because some people actually have the same behavior, but they're motivated by different things. So I found, if you have time to look into it, Louise is also a certified Enneagram person, so she can tell you more about it after the class if you have questions for her. But I find that it's easier to understand people through the Enneagram. So I'm a 9. What that means is, in short, is I do track a lot of people because I want everyone to play nice and have nice friends and be comfortable. And so I thought it was normal that why am I watching her mood, his mood, any changes in the face, I like, oh, she's not nice to me today. Or even though the words are not there, I get stressed when people feel stressed. I thought this was normal, but it turns out people like my husband, he doesn't really care what mood I'm in. So we have, throughout my marriage, I started figuring out like, oh, he's not aware that I've had a bad day. And so when he puts more load on me, then I get stressed. And then when I snap back, he gets stressed. So it's been such a big tool to really, on the moment, stick to observe what's going on. So that's what I'm going to ask you today throughout this my time. I'm going to ask you to check in. So I'm going to teach that muscle to you because it is a muscle. What else? I am a mom of 3, so now I'm also tracking 3 little children and their moods. So you can just imagine the juggling. I'm also a sound healer because my system is predominantly anxious because I'm tracking so many people. So I need sound to relax. So one of my classmates is here. Pat, what else? Somatic emotional release coach. So throughout my Young Living journey, I've studied modalities like NLP, emotional release with oils. We're familiar with that. And now I've added on somatics meaning also how it translates in the body. So I'd like combine those things, and that's what I love to do, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And of course, Young Living, Royal Crown Diamond, and brand partner. So my first question to you, can we all agree that we all participate today? Don't be shy, this is a closed door. So I really need feedback from you so we can really work together in this session. So first, okay, can you shout out what you think this picture means? Connection. Help. What else?
Reaching out.
Reaching out. What else? Hope.
Faith.
Faith.
Friendship.
Kindness. What else?
Friends.
Friends. Trust. You realize that it's just one picture, but everybody has different interpretations of it. And it's the same thing with life and situations that happen. Things can come up. Maybe in this room something comes up, like the lights go off. Some of us, who's gonna panic? Okay, so we are all a little bit healthier. How about the staff? What's your level of stress for the Young Living corporate who organized this whole thing and then it's blackout? What's your level of stress? No stress. How about the members? It depends if you used your oils or not. If you haven't used your oils, what's your reaction? Drink the oils. Who will stand up and look for a solution? 1, 2. Who will observe, quietly observe and not move? See, we have a couple. Who will try to get out of the building? You see, life will throw us different situations and everybody reacts differently depending on how our nervous system functions or how we've been trained to deal with life throughout our lives, and also what your mood is for the day. It's so fluctuating that it's such a big tool for us to be more observant of how we're showing up every single day. And so can we all agree that 10% of life is made up of what happens to you, and 90% of life is decided by how you react to it? Okay? We cannot control a blackout, a red light, an earthquake, the market going down, somebody losing their employment, somebody getting sick in the home or getting into an accident. But we can control our reaction to that event. So what we will be discussing today is emotions and how they are created, the impact of stress on our nervous system, because that's what controls our responses, and then understanding how humans tend to react to these things. Because you might react a certain way, and those close to you, the ones that affect you the most, they might react differently as well, and that's gonna be fascinating. So first, everybody knows what stress is, correct? Like I hear it all the time, I'm so stressed. So stress is things that take a toll on our nervous system and affect our emotional well-being. It is something either external or internal that happens, and we are off our game. We're out of our comfort zone. There's something off. There's something wrong. And this can be a range from I'm not comfortable today, or it's a bad morning, to I'm full on triggered. Like I cannot think. Something is not right. So have you experienced that range of feeling and emotion when something stressful comes out? Do you notice that every day it's a different degree? Sometimes it's just, oh, I'm tired, I don't like how she talked to me. Do you have a friend who like said the wrong thing? Like, Rach, you added weight. You gained weight. So who here is very sensitive to their weight? Is it just me? Oh, well, we have a couple. So it's like somebody comes up for your vacation. Oh, like you put on a little weight. Some of us, see, we have somebody aggressive here. We have like little, you notice things change in your body. Your nostrils flare a little bit. And some people's like, you're not my friend anymore. And some like start calling their friends, you know what she said about me? What kind of friend? She also gained weight. At least I can lose weight, but she can never change her face. So I've heard that range of reaction. So it's very tender to some, and some people can brush it off easy, depending on their wisdom when it comes to their own nervous system. But the thing with stress and our responses to it is that it's built in. It's an animal instinct. Our nervous system is there and lets us react fast because it's an animal instinct. It's designed to keep us safe. It's designed to keep us away from predators. But right now, the predators is no longer a tiger, but your friend who called you fat. So I'm going to show you just a little video to illustrate that.
Babies this young are extremely responsive to the emotions and the reactivity and the social interaction that they get from the world around them. This is something that we started studying 30, 40 years ago, when people didn't think that infants could engage in social interaction. In the still face experiment, what the mother did was she sits down and she's playing with her baby who's about a year of age.
I'm my good girl. Oh.
And she gives a greeting to the baby gives a greeting back to her.
Yeah.
This baby starts pointing at different places in the world, and the mother's trying to engage her and play with her. They're working to coordinate their emotions and their intentions, what they want to do in the world. And that's really what the baby is used to. And then we ask the mother to not respond to the baby. The baby very quickly picks up on this, and then she uses all of her abilities to try and get the mother back. She smiles at the mother. She points because she's used to the mother looking where she points. The baby puts both hands up in front of her and says, "What's happening here?" She makes that screechy sound at the mother, like, come on, why aren't we doing this? Even in this 2 minutes, when they don't get the normal reaction, they react with negative emotions, they turn away, they feel the stress of it, they actually may lose control of their posture because of the stress that they're experiencing.
Okay. I'm here. And what are you doing? Oh, yes. Oh, what a big girl.
It's a little like the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is that normal stuff that goes on, that we all do with our kids. The bad is when something bad happens, but the infant can overcome it. After all, when you stop the still face, the mother and the baby start to play again. The ugly is when you don't give the child any chance to get back to the good. There's no reparation, and they're stuck in that really ugly situation.
If babies can feel that whole range of responses to the people around them, especially their loved ones, aren't we all just little babies who have in our adult bodies? What does a still face of a mother look like? It could feel like a rejection from your spouse. It could be a friend that said no to an invitation to come out. Like, I'm having a hard time today. Can you come out and talk to me and let's go to a cafe? Oh, I'm busy. You feel that rejection. And you feel that stress because deep down we're all just babies trying to live with the people around us, our loved ones. And so stress is a normal thing of life because, you can't really blame the person, your friends, your spouse, if they're also having a hard time. But if you are aware about the things that can cause, the responses that they can cause inside of you, then we can navigate that better. Because reparation is something that's possible. Our brains have neuroplasticity, which means that we can also correct all those things. So who here has ever had their heart broken by a boyfriend, relationship, spouse, rejection, sales? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so what was your initial reaction? I mean, like on this, I have here 4 types of reactions that we saw on the baby. The fight is like, what's going on? You're more aggressive, or you wanna argue. Why didn't you call me? Or why didn't you come out with me? I thought we were friends. Or flight, which is more of an avoidant behavior. You just do not text back. I have some friends who rather I don't want to talk to you, stonewall you. Same thing with relationships. I've known some friends I want to talk about this. There's a problem here. But I'm very anxious and they're let's talk later. I have work to do and they don't even respond. So that's very avoidant behavior. That's flight. There's freeze and they just stare at you like that or don't talk. And then fawn, this is a strange one, but it also happens to animals. This is when you cannot fight your way to something, you cannot flee, you cannot run away from something, the stressful situation, and they try to bend down and please, do people pleasing so that everything is friends again. So even if somebody hurt you, or it's not even your fault, you're the one saying sorry. Just so they, this usually happens to parents and children. So I have a very aggressive mom. So even though I want to fight with her, sometimes I would just rather, no, it's okay, I'm fine. So that, I won't get grounded. So there are systems that are predominantly programmed into you. So let's do a roll call and just be honest. Who here has a fight type of system? Meaning it allows you to assert yourself, especially when you've been wronged. You're more likely to argue your way. It's what's a nice situation? Is there traffic here? Alright. Okay. So somebody cuts you off in traffic. Who would roll down their window and shout, "You're wrong"? That's more aggressive. That's more fight behavior. Anybody here like that? One, a couple. Okay. A lot. Yeah. How about flight? You would rather just drive away and not confront the person. Or somebody's trying to come near you and you're just... Anyone? This is me. I do this a lot. Anybody freeze? When somebody's you did this, and you're you have no words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think Louise is also freeze predominantly any stressful situation. You don't know what to say, your brain gets foggy. And then fawn, who would try to appease the person. Hey, calm down, do you want some food? Do you want some ice cream? You try to avoid the situation, but you try to please them so you're all friends again. Anyone? Fawn. So we have a couple. So I don't want, there's nothing wrong with you. Some people talk a lot about not feeling good enough. It's not that. The trauma really comes from previous experiences where you responded this way and then you think there's something wrong with you. But really it's not, it's just very animalistic. We've seen tigers and bears fight for their territories, and then you see them, they're all big like this, or they roar. The louder the better. So you will see that in humans, the louder the better. And then you will see like little you'll see gazelles, the ones who run away really, really fast. You see those who freeze, they pretend like they play dead so that the animal will go away. They don't see them. You see those deer in headlights, they freeze. And then you see the people just like bring little offerings of food to their prey. So it's like, don't look at me, here's an offering. So it's all an animal thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when we have modern life and we have stress all over, it's kind of hard to be the aggressive type when it's your boss that you're mad at. Right? There becomes consequences when our predominant nervous system, like our response, doesn't match. Or you have like somebody, or you really care about a person, like your husband or your wife, and they want to fight it out, because some people actually like to fight it out so that they can feel better. But if you run away from them, you don't talk to them, you don't resolve the issue, that's when other couples also start of like just fade away, because their needs are not being met. And so it becomes very important for us to recognize, okay, I'm feeling aggressive right now, but because I know my partner is this way, then they might react to me. Maybe I should wait a little bit before I react. So it becomes a wisdom thing, it becomes a muscle, it becomes something we practice daily. It's not a learned skill because we're really instinctual animals by nature. So let's do a quick mapping of what we feel. For those in the fight response, can you tell me what the energy feels like? Let's say temperature. What does it feel like in your body? Hot. And fast or slow, your energy? Fast. Where do you feel it in your body? Is it your upper part, your limbs? Like when you're mad, do you clench your fists? Fists. Clenched fists. Wait. Heartbeat goes fast. Heartbeat goes up. Anything else? Do you notice? Louder voice goes up. Volume, yeah, voice volume. How about your eyes?
White.
Wide eyes?
Laser focused.
Laser focused. How about emotions? When do you really feel this fight? When? Like what kind of emotion usually do you? Anger. So we have here the body, and then we have anger. What else? Frustration, maybe?
Yeah, I was going to say injustice. Injustice.
Injustice.
I usually feel
Rage. What else? When does this come up for you? Trying to think.
when you feel you're not treated fairly.
Yeah, it's injustice, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. See? So I think the fight people are more aware of what happens in their body. Because these are signals. These are things you can catch early once you start feeling it. Oh, I feel my heart rate just, oh, my voice is getting louder. I'm getting activated. So mapping it is very important. How about the flight people? Where do you feel it in your body? Upper half, lower half?
Legs.
Legs? Yep. Do you notice like sometimes when you want to get out of the room, you're kind of like, yeah, shaky legs, shaky legs. So, how about the energy? Is it still up or down? Is it still fast or slow?
Fast.
Still fast, yeah. How about temperature? Do you feel hot, cold? Yeah, it's still hot. What else? Any more? How about emotions? When do you want to like get out of there?
When you're stuck.
Danger, stuck. Danger, stuckness. What else? There's no wrong answer. It's not a quiz. We're just mapping what it feels like for different people.
Fear.
Fear, yeah.
Avoidance.
Fear, avoidance. When you don't want to look at something, like you saw that baby try to turn away because it was stressed. Yeah. How about voice volume, or you don't even speak?
Don't speak. Just go.
Silence. What? How about your eyes? Your eyes, do they dart around the room,
Yes.
trying to look for the exit?
Yes.
Yeah. It all sounds very animalistic, right? Animal trying to like escape, but
Yeah.
it is us, humans. This happens to us. How about freeze? Okay, the freeze people in the room. Hot or cold?
Cold.
Cold. Where do you feel it in your body? Is it like your head? Is it all
Belly.
over?
Stomach, right? Belly. Stomach.
Belly. Belly, stomach. Right. Stomach. What else?
Actually, even the whole body
Solar
shrinks.
Hmm?
The whole body. There's a
Whole
lot of
body shrinks. It's like a fetal position, right?
Yeah.
Curled.
Curling. Fetal. What else? Is the energy fast or slow?
No.
Slow. What about the things you hear? Are, like, can you even think? How's your brain? The thoughts that come in your head, it's just
Foggy.
foggy.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothingness. Floaty.
Actually, the body is tight. So it's very
Tight.
muscles.
What else? Your vision, do you close your eyes or do you want to sleep? Like your energy, is it high or
Lethargic.
lethargic, lazy? No, lethargic is better.
Disconnected.
Disconnected, disassociated. Okay. How about emotions? When do these feelings come up usually? What situation or what emotions?
Shock.
Shock,
Overwhelmed.
overwhelm,
Fear.
fear, grief maybe? Grief. Sadness. What else? From this side. Did you notice anything? Quiet also. Any other emotions that freeze comes up for you? Numb. We have a lot of freeze in this room. Shock, overwhelm, fear, grief, sadness, hopelessness, depression. For those who have anxiety, do you feel more on fight or flight?
Like.
Anxiety, you can put it here. I think that's a lot. Enough to identify. And then fawn. Fawn is strange. It's actually fight or flight or freeze, but we are so conditioned to act a certain way because they tell us, this is bad. You're such a wild child. Or you're a boss. You're not being responsible if you don't face this head on. Or you should be taking action and because you're the boss or you're the RCD. You should take action because you're our leader. So society imposes these conditions on us on what's right or wrong, on how to behave emotionally in a certain way, that we repress all this and override it with, okay, what's the proper behavior that I should be showing? And so this is more different. It's hard to recognize, but you start to feel it when you say yes, but you really mean no. What else? What else? How does this come up? When you can't leave a party even if you want to leave a party, but your friends told you to be there. So it's usually this. It's a more on a boundaries thing. You're crossing your own boundaries. And so this is more complicated. When this shows up, you have to dig a little deeper to see which one is underneath that. Because when you start asking those questions like, do I really want to be here? Or do I really want to go to that event? Do I really want to talk to my in-laws? But really underneath that is, I'm so mad at them because when my aunt called me fat, I don't want to go to that reunion. So it's you can see how things start to show up in the body. And so we track this on a daily basis, like by having a center. A window of tolerance is you are activated, you are feeling like stressful things do come up, like the lights going off, but you notice that your heart rate is even and I can take life's punches. Then you start to notice when you're not in that window of tolerance, because the energy either goes up, fight, flight. This is the hyper arousal, this upper half, and hypo arousal is the bottom half when the energy is down. So it's like if you can scan your body or you have a temperature, what am I today? So for those of you in the room, are we here? Or is anybody of you like coming here, you're coming from problems, you're coming from traffic, or just before you rushed out the door, you had an argument with somebody? You can check in. Have a daily check-in. Where am I? Am I here or am I lower here? Okay, so you can screenshot this so you have a guide, or you can also take shots here. So when it's here, you notice the energy being up, the temperature is up. It's the anger, anxiety. So this is just the same mapping here. The goal is to be in our window of tolerance every day. Because can you just imagine like walking out on your boss because they were mad that like you didn't turn in or they have like a deadline on time? You'd get fired, right? It's not. We have to manage our emotions. We have to regulate our nervous system because modern life tells us to do that. So we start to map. Is this helpful? Do you notice where you are today? Right? Now, what happens if you're perpetually in a certain state? You notice this clenched fists? Imagine if you were doing that every day without being conscious. Or the freeze, the tightness every day. You ever notice that I had frozen shoulder last year. I didn't realize what it was from. But if I track it, it's being in a curled up fetal position, kind of like that, when life knocks you down and you're trying to brace. The body is very intelligent. It does things to protect you. So unconsciously, I was here, shrinking, tightening, and so the muscle remembers, the body remembers, and it causes muscle armoring or body armoring. So that's when we have lumps on our shoulders, we have like stressed out hands, what else? High blood pressure, because it's your heart that's like being programmed, you're always in that state. The immune system goes down. They have studies where things like grief, the immune system goes down. So there is a correlation between the body, the nervous system responses and chronic illnesses. So that's why even here in Young Living, when we have emotional oils, a lot of people ignore the emotional oils. But if you really want to get into the root of things, of the stresses in life and what causes disease, you reverse engineer it. Why did your immune system goes down? Maybe it's something in the environment that is causing you to be in a freeze state every day, or fight or flight. Maybe you need to move out of your mother-in-law's house. You're right. Right? Then we start to like stop blaming ourselves that why is life not going well for me? When you realize you've been in danger all along and you're in having a survival state, how can you how can anybody thrive there? But luckily, what do we do with this information? We're smarter now, right? And we have the tools. So the first thing is, of course, self-awareness. Every single day, like do a check-in. Am I on the hypoarousal state or hyper? You can just think, am I upper here? Am I lower here? How do I get back to my center where I can take life's knocks?
Nice.
There's this really funny story. When I was still new with Young Living, I attended a feelings kit class where my upline shared all the oils. They just poured it on me and I was brand new. I've never had oils before. And when I got home, I got into an argument with my husband because I wanted to use his deep relief and he didn't lend it to me because he's very germophobic. He didn't want me to use the roller. But instead of me just like, hey, let me just use it. Like, if I was in my window of tolerance, what's their normal reaction? Okay, I'll just get my own, right? But I broke down. I took the deep relief and I'm like, you don't love me anymore. But the trigger was something super normal. It was just deep relief, not like it's disproportionate. So it turns out I had been in the fawn response for so long and it felt like a pressure cooker inside of me. And when you're in a pressure cooker, you never know when that one thing will like make you go crazy. And it turns out, like when I was exploring this, I have a predominantly fight system, but I had like buried it deep down because I'm Enneagram 9, which means everybody needs to be happy and so I should always be nice to other people. And so I denied myself, and that causes problems down the road. And so now, like knowing that about myself, I can do other things. Like if I have a lot of fiery energy, where can I do my fight instead of screaming at my husband for not lending me his deep relief? Where can I channel that fight? Any thoughts where I put it? Exercise. Running. Right now, Louise introduced me to powerlifting, so I feel very happy. So when that comes up in my life, I've worked with clients who have fight systems as well. I've taught them. Somebody went to kickboxing. So there are ways to manage your life, but the easiest is of course our tools. We use oils for our emotions. And why does this work? So quickly, just scientifically, I want to share with you. I think you already know this. Emotions and the nervous system, they're really in our brain. And inside our brain, it's called the limbic system, and it controls all of this. And because essential oils are so tiny, the molecules are so tiny, when you inhale them or when you use them, they go straight to the brain. Isn't that like a quick hack? Brain says, brain says all this. You get the oils that can access that, right? And so we've been using oils for stress, sleep, mood. But I want you to be able to explain this to your friends without opening a book, right? I want you. So when we talk about the window of tolerance, you want to be in the center, in the balance. So when you go and look at the website for a certain oil, do you notice those words popping up? This oil is for balancing. This oil is for centering. Does that make sense now? Why the verbiage on our marketing collateral say those things, right? How about the fight people? Remember the flight. Remember, it's all legs, shaky legs, fast. It's all lower body. And now, do you realize when we market our oils or when you read about oils, they have something called this? Does that make sense? Is it making sense now? What is grounding? When I was new, I was totally a newbie. I had no idea what grounding was. But when we link it to the body, to the somatic feelings in the body of wanting to get out of there, being out of balance, being ungrounded, floaty, then you just go look up, what are oils that are grounding? You can easily do that in Google and get some answers. Equip yourselves. How about those in the freeze state? Remember, we have cold, slow, foggy. What's the solution? Does that make sense? Right? When you read it, it feels so simple. But simple can also be powerful. So when you're feeling in a freeze state, these are the oils that you can smell and get back to your center. How about lethargic? We saw here lethargic, disconnected, foggy. What do you think is the type of oils we need? Does that make sense? Does it make sense now?
Yeah.
Peppermint. Now, if you want to go deeper, I only have 40 minutes with you, so we can't really go deeper. But if you look into the blue book, peppermint is also for the fear of failure. What happens when we fail? Does it make us freeze? When we get rejected? Does it make us want to not try again? So now you kind of see the interconnection why peppermint is being used to energize so that you can manage that instinct of not trying again. Because we want to always pick ourselves back up because you never know what tomorrow will bring. You can have a bad day today and tomorrow is going to be perfectly great. How about the fight? It's all voices going up, volume, it's fast. It's hot. What do you need? Does that make sense? So this can be rest or calming, right? Isn't this so simple and easy, right? And then when it comes to I told you about muscle armoring, things building up in the body and stiffening, we have we have our hands. Put the oils in your hands, massage those spaces. The molecules will go into the muscles that have hardened. I discovered this because my physical therapist, I went to rehab for my frozen shoulder, and I heard that term muscle armoring from him. Not even in the emotional, not even in the oil crowd. I had to learn it from my PT. So, oh, so that's what it was, and this totally makes sense. When we use our oils topically, VitaFlex, all the things that we learn about in Young Living, it's really to help with that muscle armoring, that tenseness, that chronic stress that have built up. So I'm really, really grateful to Gary Young for discovering all these things about our oils, and to all the members who have already taught me based on experience. They said this worked for this, but now it makes sense when you tie it all together. So we use oils for everything. And the best thing that I saw was that this was a wonderful thing I could teach my kids. Because my kids do not have the vocabulary to tell me, Mommy, I'm in a fight state or a flight state. No, I noticed this, even my children. This is Miguel. He is a predominantly fight person. Like, he will throw a tantrum when things don't go his way. But I notice when he cannot overpower me, because I'm the boss, right? Usually that's what happens when two animals fight. It's the bigger one that's like, oh, he runs away. I have seen him like really run away, get out the door, get into the street, and I've had to chase him. And now I realize, oh, he's like a little animal. First he tries to fight with me to get the remote. But then if I say, no, mommy's rules, he will flee. And so he was like my test case. I taught him how to, okay, what are you feeling? I'm feeling hot, I'm feeling angry. And now he uses oil. So we have orange. He's, Mommy, I want peace and calming. And even my eldest, I had words with her because she was late and I wanted to ground her. And then she started crying. Do you know that I'm right? Yes, yes. So why are you crying? Just leave me alone. So she's having this major breakdown. I was like, it's okay, I'm sorry I said those things, but I fixed it, right? You can now go to your cousins. It's like, I know, but I'm still feeling bad. Okay, so what do you need? I need peace and calming. Really? So it's like, it's the best gift I could give my children, that they are aware of how they're feeling, of what's showing up in their bodies, instead of me just screaming at them. And their favorite is like the uplifting oils and peace and calming and peppermint for some reason. Peppermint when they're like they have bad grades and their dad had words with them. So oils are a very practical thing, and it can really, really change the quality of our lives. And he's just fresh from crying, and then he got a brand new bottle. that's the other problem I got with my kids, because now they open brand new bottles because they need it at that moment. But I'm happy about that. Instead of them not communicating with me, it's like I'll feel rejected because I'm a people-pleasing person. I'll feel rejected by my kids if they don't tell me what's wrong. But when I see them reach out for an oil, oh, I think she's upset. I'll say sorry later, but let them calm down. So it's been very, very peaceful so far in my house, and I hope what I've shared with you today can also be helpful for you in how you navigate your daily lives with your children, with your partners, with your bosses, your colleagues. So thank you so much, and I will pass it on to Louise and our practical. Was that helpful, or was it too simple? Because I wasn't sure if you're all.
Simple good. It's good.
Yeah. So thank you. Oh yeah, no, the DIY. I can do a scan.
Oh, how do you want to do it?
Are they gonna do all the stuff?
No. So, as a gift for you guys today, before we head on to the second lecture, we're actually going to do a simple DIY or do it yourself. So instead, influencer things. Okay. So instead of us giving you a roller blend, like a pre-made roller blend, you're actually free to choose your own roller blend. Is that gonna be okay? So based off on the on the different categories of the oils, uplifting, this to remember, grounding, centering, balancing, you're free to choose one category. Okay, and then we have some of the oils here from each category, and then you're free to make your own roller blend of those oils. So for example, you want to make something grounding, right? But you also want to mix a little uplifting because you feel like you need more punch to it. So you can choose 2 circles. So you can stand up if you want. So you have 2 sets here. They're more or less the same. So you can choose, for example, a few drops of
Your seats.
I would love to, but we can't have one drop
Okay.
because you have one drop. But
So we have these 2 tables prepared for you so that after your scan, once we know the oils that you need, you can actually come around the table to do your DIY blend, and then later on Louise will actually go on to how you use them, things like that later in the class.
So go ahead and just close your eyes, get settled into your chairs. Okay. And we're just going to start breathing. So go at your own pace. Just inhale and exhale. Any thoughts? Anything that you have in the back of your mind, just let it go. With every exhale, with each part of our body, there is no judgment here, just noticing where it's at. So first, we're going to notice our feet. How does it feel today? Temperatures or tightness? Can you feel the left and the right? Can you feel them together? Is there any numbness, any tightness? Just notice. Next, we check with our calves and our knees. Does it feel tight? Does it want to stand up? Does it want to leave the room? Is there any shakiness? No judgments here, just notice where you're at. And then we move up to our thighs and our hips. Do they feel tired? Do they feel energized? Hot, cold? Moving to your hips and your glutes. Is there any pain, tightness? Or does it feel loose and open? Keep breathing. We go to our stomach areas. We hold a lot here. Are there any flutters, pain, gassiness, acidity? Does it feel unsettled? Does it feel calm and centered? Again, no judgments here. We're just noticing where it's at for today. And we move up to our chest area, our hearts. Does it feel tight, or does it feel like it wants to curl up? Or does it feel expansive? Hot or cold? Just notice. Moving up now to our shoulders. Is there any pain, heaviness? Does it feel curled forward, or does it expand backward? Do you notice your left side is heavier than your right? Are there any lumps or tightness? Inhale and exhale. in our throats, in our necks? Does it feel painful? Is there, you can move it around, just check your mobility. Are you able to turn all the way to the left? Turn all the way to the right, check for tightness, temperature, texture. Notice what you notice. And let that go. Moving into the face. Does your head feel heavy or light? Are your thoughts dialed in? Are you feeling present, or do you have a need to, there's a floaty feeling, a sleepy feeling, or are there intrusive thoughts coming in? Maybe you're still recalling things from earlier this morning or the past few days. Just notice. And finally, the top of your head. Does it feel hot or cold? Move your forehead a little bit tight. Or does your head feel heavy from too much thinking, too much worrying? And inhale, exhale. And one last scan so you can decide whether you are in a fight mode, flight, freeze, fawn, hypoarousal, hyper, or you feel centered. And with that wisdom that your body just gave you, you can go ahead and take your time to choose from our DIY stations.
Wow, there's hotel music. How was the first session? Everyone was good. How do you feel about the blends that you made? Did you like the smell, or was it like, it's not, it's not giving? Is it good? Okay. So, for the second half, we're going to take a little step back first before we head over to the feelings kit. We're going to discuss a little bit more about how we view things. Is that okay? So for the first session, Rachel talked a little bit more. Actually, she did talk about a lot of advanced knowledge. Do you agree? It was very shocking for a morning session, a little bit. How many of you felt a little overwhelmed or intimidated with all of the somatics knowledge? No one? You're all good? Okay, good for you, good for you. So I'm not a morning person, and so it was a little, when I first heard her talk about somatics, it was a little intimidating for me. So all the talk about emotions, I could never see myself wanting to learn about emotions if I was looking at myself before Young Living. So let me start this talk, of course, by introducing myself first. Mabuhay. Hello, my name is Louise, and this is how I look when I'm dolled up. This is like the everyday, downgraded version. Okay. So I'm an Enneagram. Why are you taking a photo of the introduction slide? You're not gonna learn anything about that slide. I'm very Capricorn, and I'm an Enneagram type 5. I'm very, very mental. Since I was a child. When I was a child, actually, my parents thought special needs wasn't a thing yet back then, but they really thought something was wrong with me. Because I never made trouble in school, but I also didn't like my teachers. And my teachers also didn't like me. It was something mutual. And I didn't also cause problems with my classmates, but we weren't necessarily friends. Can you imagine the situation? So I was kind of not having any relationships with anyone, even as a child. And my parents thought it was weird or different. And they can't put a finger on it. So as I was growing up, I also noticed that. And as a teenager, I tried many different things. I tried, changing myself a little bit. I tried making friends more intentionally. I tried all the things. And nothing really stuck because it wasn't true to who I am. And so as an adult and as I had the time to intentionally pursue getting to know myself, thanks to Young Living and all of the personal growth things that we learn here for free, by the way, and all of the oil uses, I came into peace with knowing that we can just be ourselves, or we can just try to discover ourselves while doing all of the things at the same time. Is it starting to click? Personal growth is not an adventure that needs to be done alone full time. You can have a real actual life, be employed, be a parent, be a spouse, do all of the necessary adult errands, and still try to discover yourself while doing this. And so, for today, for my part of the lecture, if you are going to take notes, take down notes, more than what I will discuss, I want you to take down what you are realizing or your own insights as I'm talking about things. I invite you to take down notes of what comes into the surface as I'm speaking, not necessarily what's on the slides. Okay? Okay. So, I started in Young Living because of my son, Wak. So, meet my son. His whole name is Joaquin. His nickname is Wak. He's very, very extroverted. How many of you are in APAC? We're in APAC in Singapore. Oh my gosh. So, you've met Wak, or you've seen him somewhere. He's all over the convention. He feels as if he's, the face of Young Living. He's very introverted, takes pictures with people, hugs everyone, And he's like the opposite of me. But when Wak was younger, he was very, severely constipated. So he was always in pain, always, shouting, crying in pain whenever he needs to pass his bowel movements. And we tried many different things, conventional medicine and stuff. And when Young Living was introduced to us, because Rachel, my enroller, told me, Dahijai is very effective. It took me a while because it was very expensive. So in the Philippines, a starter kit would cost a month's salary. That means you would need to sacrifice what you earned in a month just to purchase the starter kit. And you can't buy anything else. So that's how expensive it was. But I was getting desperate and I had a little extra from my existing business. I used to have a photography studio back then. So I bought the starter kit. And that was when I noticed physical changes in Wak. The usual cough, colds, fever, the digestive issues, all of those things. But I never knew that I could use oils for myself. I never knew that oils would benefit me. So whenever I do classes, I always tell people it's okay to try oils for a simple reason and just discover the rest along the way. Right? Same with any other endeavor in life. We do not need to have the compelling reason right at day one. For example, when you came here, how many of you came here just because? Without any, because you felt like, it might just give it a go. Very casually, not really because I'm motivated to change my life, Tony Robbins style. The bulk of us would not have that very fiery determination to get started on one thing. And that's totally fine. Okay? So, The way I discovered using essential oils for emotions was actually because I fell into a very, very dark depression during when WAC was around 6 months old. So I was raising WAC alone by myself. Although I lived with my parents, they were both working, and so it's just the two of us alone at home. And this was when I realized that, this is how strong emotions feel like. So all my life, I was this very logical, neutral, how do you call this? Unemotional person. You know, I was almost never angry with anyone. Whenever I don't like a person, I would just, cut them off or whatever. I'm like that. I'm never the person who would say bad things to you or gets very sad, frustrated, or expect a lot from you. But then I would also not feel very happy or anything. I was just like floating in the middle, But when I experienced depression, it was really so bad. It was very, very bad. So when we tried using essential oils, and it was not the emotional blends actually, it was just the oils that you used a while ago. Very, very basic oils. I realized that I started getting less and less attacks. And I just woke up one day and realized, it's been a while since I last thought of dark things. You know what I'm talking about? So same with the other uses of the oils, we don't really notice na, my health has improved 50%. There's nothing like that. We just notice that, it's been a while since I last got colds. It's been a while since I last got a migraine this bad. So that was how I discovered using oils emotionally. I just noticed my mood improving. I just noticed that I was less, slow today. I noticed that I was more energetic or a little bit more energetic today. I was sleeping better today. It starts with those little things. And for me, whenever people ask me, I have a lot of friends who are experiencing, mental health issues and emotional health issues. And whenever they would get curious about the oils and they would ask me, do they really work? Have you gotten those kinds of questions? But do they really work for your emotions? And I would just tell them, my story. The fact that I'm still alive here says that the oils are working. The fact that I can stand here and share this story to you in all of its depth, and detail, that the oils are working for me. And so it can be as simple as that. And whenever I teach these classes to the Philippines, and I'm very grateful that I also get to teach you guys here. It's my first time teaching for Young Living Singapore in person. I always start with discussing, how do we view our life? Whenever we want to improve our emotional well-being, it's not just our emotional being that needs to be taken under the microscope. So our life essentially is made up of 7 areas. The first one is a little simple. It's our physical body. Physical body means our vitality, our vessel. You can have all of the health in the other areas of your life, but if your physical body dies, it's over. It's game over, right? When you get run over by a car, then there's no other area of your life that exists. It's so important, and yet it's the area of our life that we abuse the most. Do you agree? How many of us are workaholics? No one? It's just me? Are you really Asians? No one is a workaholic? Okay. But for the workaholics out there and those who really, would push themselves to the limit, it's still okay because I can thrive on 2 hours of sleep. I can thrive on 3 hours of sleep. Those are the little things that put a strain on our physical body. And when our physical body is struggling, is on its limit, then the other areas of our life obviously would also deteriorate. Do you agree? If our physical body is constantly stressed and on its fight, flight, freeze, fawn mode, then obviously our emotional or our mental, whatever aspect of our life will also struggle. Do you agree? Okay. So one prompt, if you love to journal or you want to reflect, one prompt that helps me is checking in, how is my physical vitality? Is my body always constantly trying to, is my body always almost sick? Is my body always craving for sleep? Is my body always craving for the wrong food? Food, okay. Is my body always having jitters? Right? Or numbness? Or pain that won't go away? Or lingering, not really pain, but discomforts? Your back feels weird. Your shoulders feel weird. Right? So those are some signs that my physical vitality might need some help. And thankfully, we are all in a company that has products that are so good for physical vitality, right? What are some of the oils that you use to support your physical vitality? Raindrop, love that. What else? Ningxia, right? The oils that you use, those are really good as well for your physical body. Okay? The second area of our life is emotions and meaning. Wow, emotions and meaning. Usually when we talk about emotions, like in the title of this class, we don't often put the word meaning right next to it. But I want to give a different flavor to what emotions mean. Emotions are just the meanings you put into things and circumstances. For example, we can all be here in the same room, experiencing the same thing, having the same temperature, listening to the same lecture, right? Smelling the same, mixture of oils, seeing the same me, but you're probably having different emotions, right? Some of you might be sleepy, some of you might be hungry, some of you might be excited, some of you might be, fascinated. Here's another example. So this phone right here, I'm gonna put my phone here, and I want you to share with me the very first word that comes into mind when you see my phone. Any? Cute. What else? Cat. Okay. What else? Big. Okay. What else? Different, right? Some of you might be thinking, oh, I need to check my phone. Some of you might be thinking, oh, did I charge my phone? So there are a lot of different thoughts and emotions that come into mind. So essentially, emotions have a very deep root, okay? And one prompt that you can use is, what kinds of meanings do I put into my experiences? Whenever you're experiencing one thing, what's the meaning that you put into it? If there's traffic on your way here and you were late, what meaning do you put into that? Are you so stressed? And you feel like your day is ruined? Or you're just, that's part of the, that's Singapore for you, right? It can be many different things. For example, during the pandemic, I'm sure you have a lot of friends who had it harder than some of your friends, who experienced the pandemic a little worse than some other people, right? So, I want to also share with you this cycle. So as people, we experience things. We all experience things, right? Bad, good, neutral, anything, major, minor. But then these experiences, we put meanings into it. And whatever meaning we put into those experiences, those become our thoughts. This part of the cycle is very, very fast. Thoughts are very fast and fleeting and instant. And we cannot control them. But then we infuse meanings into our thoughts. We cook those thoughts with meanings. And then we become beliefs. For example, we think, oh, the phone is, that cat is cute, right? And then we believe that the cat is cute. But then it's not a cat. It's a coca, okay? But you believe it's a cat, so it's a cat for you, okay? So you put meanings into those beliefs, and those beliefs become your emotions. Emotions are cooked and simmered beliefs. Making sense? Is it making sense? So, on those emotions, you further put meanings into it. You also blanket it with more meanings. And those define your behaviors. So when you think about it, behaviors are not just from thoughts. They already came from beliefs, emotions, before they became behaviors. Do you believe that? Although we were primitive before, we have evolved as human beings to become more conscious and intellectual. Do you agree? And so as we behave a certain way, those behaviors would define our next experiences. And so this cycle is just a cheat sheet of letting you know that if you want to have different experience in life or higher quality experience, then you would need to inspect what are the quality of my thoughts? What are the quality of my beliefs? What are the quality of my emotions? And what are the quality of my behaviors? Is it right? You cannot expect to have high quality or really good experiences if your behaviors are dubious or shady. Right? So same with our children. If we want our children to have really good, high quality experiences, then the quality of the meanings that we infuse in each of the steps of this cycle should also be high quality. Right? Okay. So this defines the how healthy the second area of our life is. So again, thoughts are fleeting and fast and instant, but emotions are something we can control through the meanings that we put into things. Okay? Okay, good. So for example, another example that I hope will help you remember the difference. Okay? When someone, like Rachel said a while ago, when someone cuts you off the street, or when someone bumps you into the street real bad and you drop your coffee, iced coffee, that is keeping you cold in the heat, what's your initial reaction? Oh, no. Beep, bad words, okay. So, that's the initial reaction, right? How many of us on a bad day would allow that thought to linger in our brains until we sleep? Sometimes, right? Sometimes. But the other person and the people around the circumstance where it happened, do they still remember you and what happened until they sleep? Do they still? No, right? It's just you who's suffering. It's just you who are suffering. And so that emotion is the byproduct of the meanings that you infused in that experience. How you watered that thought, that's why it grew into that emotion. Right? Okay. So next area of our life is relationships. Okay. So, what do you think about the quality of your relationships? What's one word you can share with me that would describe generally your relationships right now? I don't know who you know, so you're safe with me. Okay. So just give me one description for your relationships right now. Harmonious. Naks. Okay, what else? No? No comment? Pleasant. Okay, what else? No relationship. What else? Peaceful. Okay. How about the other people? You refuse to comment. Okay. So, relationships are very important, no matter how introverted or antisocial you are. Whether we like it or not, we are bound to have relationships on this earth. Newsflash. Okay? So, they did this study actually during the pandemic wherein they noticed that a lot of people were getting sick. And when they studied these are people who didn't have any medical history relevant to the illnesses. Now, why were they getting sick? A lot of them, they found out that it's because they were forced to be locked down with people they were not comfortable with. That's also why, during the pandemic, a lot of people either had stronger relationships or had broken relationships. Right? Because we were forced to be inside a house under one roof with people who were not, really 100% comfortable with. And that put a toll, not just on our emotions and our relationships, but also on our physical body. That's why when you are constantly surrounding yourself with toxic relationships, guess what will happen to the other aspects of your life? Right? Our bodies can only take in so much. And when we don't evaluate, how we really feel about the people we keep close, then something is bound to spoil the other areas of our life, just like a rotten tomato. So it's true that we cannot fully decide on who we are going to interact with on a daily basis. Like, you would never know who's going to be driving your bus or who's going to be the vendor of the milk tea that you're going to buy, right? Or the security guard. But the people you keep close, you can control. The boundaries that you put on the people whom you are constantly engaging with, you can fully control. Do you agree? Okay, so that's the third area of our life. And the fourth is time. Time is a little unspoken of as an area of our life because it's an abstract concept to most of us. But think about it. What are some of the words that comes into mind when you hear the word time?
No time.
No time. Exactly. What else? So slow, so fast. What else? Not enough.
Or time flies.
Time flies. Or we even use just the word time just to say that it's the end. Right? Time. During a game. Time. So our body, our mind, our system is programmed to think that time is always against us. And we are always believing that we don't have enough time. How many of us sleep and before you shut down your eyes, you think, I didn't do this. I haven't finished this task. I did not have enough time today. Those little thoughts indicate that you feel as if you're always pushing against time or you're always trying to, struggle with time. So think of it this way. What if you shifted your mind and made time your friend? Made time your ally? Right? Because truth is, we all have 24 hours in a day. Even Beyonce has 24 hours in a day. Even Taylor Swift has 24 hours in a day. We all have 24 hours in a day. And it is up to us to view time as a disease or as an area of our life. Okay? And our relationship with time would also define how we view that fourth, aspect. So is time working for me or against me? Second to the last. Is it second to the last? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, third to the last. Sorry, I'm not good at math. The next area of our life is career and mission. So what are some of your careers? I'm so curious because this is a weekday class, right? And there's a lot of you here. So can you share with me what your career is? Young living. Okay, that's good. Mother is also a career. Good. What else? All of us have careers. So give me your careers. What else? Daughter? Okay, what else? Friend? What else? No, cannot share. Okay. What else? What are some samples of careers? Come on. Indulge me. Say any career. I won't know if it's true or not.
Banker.
Anchor?
Banker.
Banker. Okay. Okay. Jet setter. Love it. What else? Professional shopper. Okay. What else? What else? Mentor. Right? Friend. Mom. Brat tamer. Okay. Anyway, so whatever your career is, the fact that you know and accept that career will also define how you view that specific area. For example, do you notice unemployed people? Why are they happy with their lives? Because they love their career. They fully embrace being unemployed. You know? Do you agree? Why are they so healthy? Even if they drink all day and they eat bad food all day. It's because they're generally okay with how they view their life. Why are do you know someone who has a good career, high-paying career, very prestigious career, and still struggling emotionally and health-wise, right? It's because the relationship with the career is not there. It's not in a good state. So when you are in a good state with career, then you give it a chance to evolve into a mission. A mission is when you are now ready and capable of encouraging and inspiring others to do good things. To love on their career, to improve the quality of their life, to do good on this earth, and all of these other good things. So now, because you are acknowledging and accepting and embracing your own career, then you are now capable of, flowing that energy or pouring that energy outwards. Okay, next. A prompt. Am I emotionally fulfilled in what I'm doing? So that's a good prompt to have whenever you're inspecting this area of your life. Next is finances. Okay, how many of us are not happy in this area of our life? Finances. Not happy. Okay, struggling. So this is pretty easy to understand because it's always been there. Right? It's inevitable that we know how our finances are doing. But do you agree that there are a lot of economically poor people who are happier than economically well-off people? Do you agree? It's because of how they view their finances. If you are rich financially, but you always think as if, you're running out of money or you become uncomfortable when you see your bank account. Even if you have a lot, that puts a strain on your mental, emotional, and physical state, right? Compared to someone who doesn't necessarily have a lot of bulk cash. But whenever he hears the word money, he doesn't flinch. He doesn't become uncomfortable, doesn't think of all the bills that he has to pay. Then it's a different experience. Right? Money means lighter to to that person than to someone who is well off. Okay? Our prompt for this is, when I hear money, what do I feel? How do I feel? What do I think? Okay? Do people in Singapore love to journal? No. I also do not. Okay, high five. High five. But I do love to introspect a lot. I love to overthink. I love to, do all of these things when I'm riding in traffic and stuff. I love to think, not so much to journal. So these prompts are very helpful to me. Okay, let's not journal. Last area of our life is spirituality and contribution. Okay, we've reached the 7th area. And spirituality is not necessarily about religion. Spirituality is how you view yourself as a whole being and how you contribute to another whole being. How is your energy flow? When you receive a blessing, do you pass it on, or do you hold it with closed fists? When you hear learning like this, when you gain insight and wisdom, do you hold on to it with clenched fists, or do you share it with someone else? Right? As a child, I love introspecting. I love discovering things. But some of my classmates were stealing my ideas. Have you experienced this?
Oh.
Stealing my ideas, stealing my creation, claiming my whatever I made as theirs. So as a child, I was very frustrated. Okay, I was not angry with them, but I was so frustrated to the point that I always guarded what I created. And I never realized that behavior until in Young Living, when I noticed that I suddenly became very, very generous with what I create. This is not to boast or anything, but I noticed that when I was giving away what I was creating, when I was sharing my blessings, like all of my PowerPoints are available for my members, and all of the class outlines that I create, I give away to my members. I noticed that I started gaining more insight. When I was holding on to what I know and not sharing, it's almost as if I also wasn't learning. Get that? The energy flow was so blocked. And so when you are consciously blocking your energy flow in that way, the blessings will also not arrive. The input will also not arrive. Because there is no output. There's no flow. Okay? So as a prompt, think of, how is my energy flow today? When I receive any resource, make it money, talent, skill, time, thoughts, ideas, talent, skills, do I share them or do I just hold them for myself and guard them? Okay. So was that too fast or was that good? Everything understandable? Okay. So those are the 7 areas of our life. And for me, the little cheat sheet before we head on to the feelings kit, the little cheat sheet that I want to share with people is, if you are wanting to improve your life as a whole, improve one aspect that is naturally the easiest for you. So all of us will have one aspect here that is naturally easy for us to work on. For example, Rachel, what's the aspect for you that is the easiest to improve on? Well, relationships? Wow. Okay, so she's very naturally, good in relationships. But I'm so bad at that, so I would not improve that. I would not focus on that. But for her, when she improves her relationships, then the rest follows. Make sense? So, what's the easiest for you? Can you think of what's easiest for you right now to improve? Like, if you had to choose, what's the easiest? Spirituality and contribution, good. What else? Emotions and meaning. Wow, good. Okay, what else? Because of the oils. Love it. Okay. What else? For some people, it's actually physical body. Like when they exercise, they immediately feel, good. They immediately feel energized and ready to take on whatever problem is in their plate. So it's different for all of us, but it's fairly easy to just focus on what's naturally easy. What we're naturally skilled at, and the rest will follow. Because when you're in a bad day, when you're in a bad state, you don't have to punish yourself to work on the area that is hard. Life is already hard, so don't make things harder. Right? Life is already complicated, so don't make things more complicated. Okay, work on what's easy. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the feelings kit. Whenever people ask me, what oils are good for this? What oils are good for anxiety? What oils are good for depression? What oils are good for this illness, this illness, this illness? If it's emotions, I always point them to the feelings kit. Why? Because this is your starter kit for everything emotional. Okay? So it's your starter kit for everything emotional. So you have your starter bundle, right? Like the standard one. Do you still have it in Singapore?
Yes.
10 oils? 10 oils? 8 oils? 10 oils. Okay. So that is like your medicine cabinet, right? That's the set that you use for the daily troubles. The feelings kit is what you use for the daily experience emotionally. Okay? So you don't have to have a problem to be using the feelings kit. You don't have to be depressed and anxious to get started using the feelings kit. And I love the DIY exercise a while ago because I hope you get to use those oils even if you feel like you don't need it. Okay? Don't wait for yourself to be stressed before you roll on your roller. Okay? So actually, at home and in our community, we did 30 days of feelings kit. We just did the protocol every day, regardless of whether you're happy or struggling or whatever your experience is. Just daily. Just like Ningxia, right? Just like the Ningxia reset and all of the supplements. So that was our experience. And then we just, let the experiences flow, allow whatever emotions are going to surface. Some people had very enlightening experiences. Some people were like, okay, feels good, I slept better, It was varying degrees of experience. So the feelings kit is made of 6 oils. How many of you have already have this at home? Okay, good. Have you used it? Have you tried doing the protocol? Okay, so just quickly, we'll go through each of the oils in this feeling kit and hopefully give you additional insight on how you can use it. So the first oil in the feelings kit is Valor. Okay, so Valor is a special oil, and I know some of you have been oiling for a while, and you would notice that Valor always appears in most of the sets, most of the collections, most of the kits. Why? Because Valor's role is to ready our body for the next steps. So Valor is not just structurally aligning, like for the raindrop, but it's also emotionally, mentally, spiritually aligning. Okay? So what Valor does is it readies the body, like I said. And for me, Valor is one of the oils that is really friendly and gentle, and you can use it for everything and anything. So even the pets in our house use Valor. Okay? So even my child uses Valor, and this is something that you can use casually. You don't have to have like super intention when you're using it. Okay? The next oil is Harmony. So Harmony, if you look at the ingredients, it's a mixture of mostly flowers, but also a little bit of citrus. So later on, we're also gonna be doing the Feelings Kit protocol together. I'm gonna walk you through it. But let's discuss the separate oils first, okay? So Harmony is also gentle. It's something that you can use daily, and you can diffuse it as well. What Harmony does is it harmonizes your internal energy flow. And when you are in harmony internally, then externally, your relationships, your experiences are also gonna be good. Okay? So we've had several testimonies in our community wherein whenever they diffuse harmony, or after they've diffused harmony consistently in their house, like the conflicts are starting to get resolved and everyone gets a little less irritated, you know. So that's what Harmony does. Forgiveness is, you know, you're starting to reach the peak, and forgiveness is one oil that I wouldn't use so casually, personally. Forgiveness is an oil that for me, you would need to have intention for you to be able to reap its benefits. Okay? So forgiveness, how many of you have tried smelling forgiveness? Have tried? Oh, almost half of you. What do you think about the smell of forgiveness? Unique. Okay. Nice, you love it? You don't like it? It's just like... Okay. So, forgiveness is where you will realize that not all emotional oils smell good. Right? And forgiveness is also the oil that will make you realize that the smell of emotional oils will vary depending on your state. It will smell bad this day, it will smell better the next day. Right? So, forgiveness is meant to scrape off the things inside of you that are meant to be cleansed. Same with oils that are exotic smelling, like daijais, right? Purging oils. Forgiveness is like that. And some of the stronger emotional blends, like hope, if you've experienced hope, and those things, they're really meant to snap something inside of you, right? So that's forgiveness. Next is release. How many of you love release? No? Some. So release is good. But what it does is whatever is scraped off by forgiveness, it sweeps it off. It flushes it out. Okay? So, you can think of it as like detox, right? Whenever you're detoxing, there's an element that scrapes off the junk, and there's another compound that flushes it out. So release is what flushes it out. And for me, like forgiveness, it's not something that I would personally use very casually. It's something that you would need to have a little bit more purpose into using. And so that is release. I have a short story about release because I went here in Singapore with my son when he was 11. And then we stayed in this Airbnb with a little bit of heavy energy. Have you been in a place that like feels off, right? And then my son, who's very articulate, suddenly cannot explain why he's feeling that way. So he started crying at 11 months, right? Started crying and throws tantrums, and he never throws tantrums. And so this is the only oil that I have in Valor. And so what I did is just apply Valor first in his tummy. And then after that, I layered on to Release next. And then after that, he's fine. So I feel like these oils are very powerful if you know how to use them. If you infuse them with your intention. So that's Release. Next is Present Time. Present Time is my absolutely most favorite blend of all. It seems simple, but the ingredients are really meant to pull you back into a present state. So after you've released what needs to be released, what Present Time does is it pulls you back. Hey, this is the present time where you need to exist. And the present time is the best time to make decisions, to strategize for your life, and to create plans. You don't have to create plans when your mind is in the past. and is full of regret and shame and guilt, right? And at the same time, it's not wise to create plans and strategize when your mind is living in the future, full of anxieties and worries and uncertainties. Where we need to exist is in the present time, in the present moment. So that's what it does. So I love also using present time casually at any time of the day. Doesn't have to be part of the protocol. You can use it whenever you're feeling a little spaced out, you're feeling a little less present, you need more, emotional presence and whatever. So present time is really good for that. Lastly, inner child. How many of you have spelled inner child? Did you like it? Did you like it? It's very bright, orangey. It's very fragrant as well. Inner child is something that I love also diffusing. Whenever my son is a little anxious, my son overthinks a lot. He's almost like an adult. So whenever we homeschool and he gets a little too stressed with our backlogs, because we have a lot of backlogs now, I diffuse this to help him remember that, hey, you're still a child. You 9-year-old. Okay, so this also helps us be more in a headspace that allows us to create, innovate, be free, be creative, have more fun, and just enjoy. So a lot of us, especially us Asians, we grow into adulthood so fast. Do you agree? We become adults faster than others. We become stressed faster. We think of adulting things faster. We forget our essence, right? And what's one thing that is so fascinating with children is that they know what they want. How many of you have kids? Okay. When your kid wants that specific toy, what does he do? What does she do? He's gonna tell you, right? And he's gonna fight for that toy, whether it be convincing you, negotiating with you, like all of the tactics. And as adults, we forget that. A lot of us don't even know what we want in the first place. And even if we know what we want, we're not willing to fight for what we want, right? So inner child helps us get back into our essence. Okay. And so we get to try the feelings kit all together. And I always do this because I want people to know that the feelings kit protocol is not really, it's something that you can do casually. Doesn't need to always be super duper, serious. So I love doing this together. So we're gonna pass the oil and we're gonna say the affirmation words together, okay? So, can you help me pass the oils? Yay! How many of you first-timers? Nice one. How many of you are first-timers doing the feelings kit protocol? A couple? First time? First time doing it with a group? Yeah, okay. Exciting. So for the first step, we apply Valor. If you are in slippers, then you can apply it on your soles. If not, you can apply it on your wrists. And inhale. Okay? And I always encourage people to say the phrases out loud. Because when you say it with your mouth and you hear it with your ears, your body will know it's important. If you just think about the phrase, your body will think it's just one of those thoughts. It's just a random fleeting thought. Okay? So we say all together, I am courageous and grounded in everything that I do. I am ready to transform my life. Okay? You can say it more than once if you want. I am courageous and grounded in everything that I do. I am ready to transform my life. Okay? You can inhale the oil in your hand. Good. Okay. When you're doing this on your own, You can take a slower pace, or you can, scan if you need a slower pace in some of the steps. Okay. Okay. Next oil is Harmony. So Harmony, we apply to each of your energy centers, or just pick one that you feel is not flowing good today. So your energy centers, if you're not familiar, it's in your crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus. Did I miss anything? Sacral and root. Okay? So for me, I always put it on my solar plexus. Here. Also, heart is good. Wherever. But you can also tap it if you want. Or gently massage it circular. Okay? And say the phrase, I am in harmony with myself and those around me. Okay? I am in harmony with myself and those around me. Okay? You can also inhale the remaining oils in your hand. See how it feels. Sometimes I feel like I take more time in this step just because I want to, make sure that everything is flowing properly and evenly. Smells good. Harmony smells good. Hey, next, forgiveness. Forgiveness we apply in a circular motion around your navel. Why do you think we apply it on our navel? Because, our navel also holds emotions, but it also kind of symbolizes our connection to what is not ours anymore. Okay? So forgiveness helps us, cut off those things that are not serving us anymore, clear out those things that are not serving us anymore, forgive ourselves from past regrets, hurt, shame. If you don't have access to your navel, maybe you're wearing a dress, you can also put it on the tips of your ears. So our ears are actually home to a lot of nerve endings that you can put it on the tips of your ears. You can try both, nothing wrong with that. They're still gonna get there. So, and we say the phrase, I forgive myself and those who have hurt me. I am at peace. So I forgive myself and those who have hurt me. I am at peace. Okay. Then you can inhale forgiveness. How does forgiveness smell for you today? Is it smelling off? Is it smelling sweeter? Sharp? It's smelling sharp for you today? Good. Okay. Next oil is release. So release will apply in a circular motion over our liver. Where is our liver? Do you know where our liver is? It's in our right abdomen. But it's very large, so don't worry if you apply it on your torso, it's gonna get there somewhere. The liver is very large. Okay? So very gently and lightly, we massage it over the liver. And we say to ourselves, I let go of emotions that are no longer serving my highest good. So I let go of emotions that are no longer serving my highest good. Okay, good. How does release smell for you today? Sweet? Really? Sometimes release smells to me like gasoline. Yeah, it has like some notes of like petroleum. I don't know. Sometimes it smells like that. Okay, good. Next is present time. Oh, so present time we apply like a perfume. We apply it on our wrists and behind our ears. Okay? So these are areas that have very thin skin, very sensitive, and it's really, it doesn't sweat. Those areas don't sweat as much as well, so it's also good to apply present time there. So we say to ourselves, I am here grounded in the present moment. I am here grounded in the present moment. So personally, I also love putting present time on my crown. Even not as a part of the Feelings Kit protocol, but I always feel like, you know, the crown is a good place for present time. Just so my crown is functioning in the present state, no, and not just floating around. So I am here, grounded in the present state. How does it smell? I'm getting smiles, a lot of smiles. I hope that's a good sign. How does it smell? How does it feel? Okay, good. Everyone okay? Okay. Next is inner child. So inner child, we apply between the nose and the lip. How I do this is, I put a drop of present time, I press inner child here, and then using my pinky, I dab it, and then I wipe a little bit before I apply. Because if you apply too much, it's going to sting, okay? And I'm so practical, I don't want you to hurt. If you're not comfortable putting it here, maybe you're sensitive or whatever, you can also put inner child over your heart. Okay? So choose one or both, do whatever. We're not strict. Okay. You just put, it's up to you, okay? No, just here, between. Okay? And then you say out loud, I allow myself to connect with my inner child and regain my true essence back. I allow myself to connect with my inner child and regain my true essence back. Okay. You can also inhale the remaining oil. Anyone in pain? No? Okay. If there's any discomfort, you can apply V6, okay? Or lavender lip balm if you have. Is it good? Okay. Then lastly, to close off the protocol, we apply Valor just like in the first step. So we apply it again on our feet, or on our wrists, or wherever, and inhale. We apply it again. And then we say again, I am courageous and grounded in everything that I do. I am ready to transform my life. Okay, and the reason we do this again is just to ready ourselves to get off of the protocol and to do life again. Okay? There's life again after the protocol, right? You don't disappear into heaven, right? You do tasks again and work again. So it's reality. Okay? Yeah. A lot of people actually do this in their lunch breaks. So after it, you're refreshed emotionally and you're good, right? So how do you feel after? Refreshed, good, ready to do a lunch break, right? Ready to do life again. So I always encourage people to have a good outlook whenever they're doing anything, a protocol. It's not a punishment that means, you know, something is not right. Protocols are not meant to make you feel like you are broken. And protocols are not meant to make you feel like there's something wrong. It should be oils in general should be supporting you. Sometimes, because we've been oiling for a while, we start to think as if, maybe something's off. That's why I need to use my oils. Have you told yourself that? I feel a little off. I need to use my oils. And that becomes a behavior of us, oils indicating that we are sick, or oils indicating that we are not feeling well. Whereas it should be the other way around. Oils to help us feel better. Oils to support the emotion that we feel for the day. And so, thank you very much for allowing me this space to share with you today. And I hope it made you feel a little better. And enjoy your lunch, and we'll see you again later.